Glad to be presenting to you folks today on this very first day of summer. It doesn't look anything like summer where I am. I'm actually located in Ottawa, Canada, and it is a cold 15 degrees right now. I am a senior program manager on the Microsoft Graph team. I'm focusing more on the component called Microsoft Graph Data Connect, which is a way for you to extract data in bulk. And I'm also the principal lead and creator for the Microsoft 365 Desired State Configuration Tool. The topic for today is going to be a little different than what I normally present. Right? I've been presenting on this forum a couple of different sessions. Today, we're going to be talking about the Microsoft Graph PowerShell SDK. What I want to do is I want to just quickly do a quick overview of what the module actually is. It is something that's available right now in the official PowerShell Gallery. For those of you that are not familiar with the PowerShell Gallery, you can go to PowerShellGallery.com. So this is a Microsoft-owned website where we publish all of the, yes, it's 15 Celsius, Brian, very important. I should have mentioned that. I'm in Canada, so we talk Celsius. So it is available in the PowerShell Gallery, and essentially what it allows you to do is to install any modules that we published with a simple command, right? So you can go in, install module, for example, Microsoft 365 DSC. It will go in and will automatically download the bits from the PowerShell Gallery and install them on your machine. Now, Microsoft Graph is a group of about 40 plus different PowerShell modules, right? In total, they make for about 660 meg of PowerShell goodness. So when you're writing your own scripts, it's really important that you only pick the ones you want. Unless you want to install the whole thing, be my guest. However, normally when you write your scripts, you're going to go in and let's say you're trying to interact with emails, you're going to go and install the Microsoft Graph.mail module only, which is only about 10 meg in size. Overall, when you install all the Microsoft Graph modules, we offer over 17,000 different commandlets in PowerShell. We support PowerShell 5.1, and we also support PowerShell 7 and above. Really important. Now, every single graph operation that is exposed, right, is going to be exposed through various commandlets: the get, the new, the set, the remove, right? So essentially your CRUD operations: create, read, update, and delete. The permissions for the commandlets are going to be driven by Azure AD. So you go in and you create your Azure AD application registration, and then you can either grant delegated or app-only permissions like you would if you're writing any application that would call the REST APIs. And automatically, as I mentioned, right, when we onboard new APIs, so when new features are being rolled out or when new workloads are being migrated over to Microsoft Graph, we automatically provide PowerShell support. So we essentially wrap it directly inside of a PowerShell commandlet. So it's always up to date. So when we have it on Microsoft Graph, we have it in the PowerShell module. Another thing that's really important to note is that it is open source on GitHub. So if you have any questions, if you have any feature requests, or if you uncover any bugs, you can go in the GitHub repo and then just open an issue in there, and you're going to be talking to the product group directly. That's it for the slides. Now let's move on to the demos. The first thing is I wanted to do a quick tour of the PowerShell Gallery. So this is what the PowerShell Gallery looks like. If you do a search on Microsoft.graph, you're going to see all the various PowerShell modules that we have, right? So those are the 40 plus modules that I mentioned. If you're trying to understand, right, because there are so many modules, there are over 17,000 different commandlets. Let's say you're trying to get user emails, right? And you know that the command you're looking for is the get-mg. MG stands for Microsoft Graph user message, but you don't know what module you actually need, right? And Eric, yes, there are many PowerShell modules, but we're making it easier for you to figure out what module you actually need, right? So if I go in here and I actually just go and let me just clear this here. If I go in and just execute, and I'm using the PowerShell ISE just because it makes my demos a little easier to go through. But essentially, if I do the find module and then pass in the command name, I can go in and get the module that's associated with this commandlet here. And then what it returns me is essentially information that the command I'm looking for is part of the Microsoft.graph.mail PowerShell module. So what I can do then is I can go in and simply go and install this module here to get access to this command. What I'm going to do here is I actually have a few modules that I need to install for my demos. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to install the main one that you will need for any script is the Graph.Authentication one. That's the core module for the Microsoft Graph PowerShell SDK that will allow you to go and obtain the token from the Microsoft Graph, right? So this is what you would use to go and connect essentially to Microsoft Graph. In my case, I'm going to go and grab about 5 different modules. Directory management is probably more like 6 or 7. The mail, the reports, the teams, and the actual users. And I'm going to go and use that install module command that I mentioned. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I'm going to run this. And what's happening in the back end, you can see it here where it's actually downloading the modules from the PowerShell Gallery and installing them on my machine. What installing means in this context here, it's essentially downloading it as a zip and extracting it in a specific folder. And that folder is under C Program Files Windows PowerShell module. When you're installing it for all users, right? You have the choice with PowerShell 7 to go and install it directly inside of your users folder. But normally these modules would just get exported in there. And if you take a look at the various modules, all you see is that those are actual PowerShell modules. Right? So there's no binaries being installed. It's just downloading PowerShell modules and putting them in that location. So now that we have everything installed, what I want to show you is how authentication works. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be connecting to Microsoft Graph using a delegated scope. So I'm going to be connecting using the connect mggraph command. And I'm going to be specifying the scope, the permission scopes I want my user to get. In this case, I'm going to go and get mail.read. And you know what? I don't even need this here because I did update my demo. So I'm going to go and do mail.read. So let's do this here real quick. I'm actually just going to make sure I'm not connected to any other sessions. I'll connect to Microsoft Graph. It's going to prompt me for my username and password. So in my case, I'm already connected with my account. Connect. I've acquired the actual token, and now I can go in and do operations against the graph. What I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be calling into the get ng user message commandlet and passing in my user, the user I actually connected to Microsoft Graph with. And I'm going to be retrieving the emails, at least the top 10 emails for that user, and I'm just going to be printing out the subject for those emails. So let's run this here. And I'll come back with the subject of the last 10 messages, right? Most of them are actual PAM, privileged access management requests. But I can see that I managed to go and extract the emails. Now, if I try to do the same thing and get the emails for another user, so good old Adele in my demo tenant, I'm going to go in here and try to connect to this. And I'm going to get an access denied. Reason for this is because I've authenticated using a delegated scope, which means that the token is only valid for the user scope that I connected with, which means I'm only able to get my own emails, right? So I can't go and get information for other users. Now let's take a look at app-only authentication. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to disconnect here. And what I've done is I've actually inside of, I should have done this here instead, inside of Azure AD, I created a new app registration called Nik PowerShell App-only. And for that app, I've actually granted some application level permissions. Those are mail.read-write. That's the one we're really interested in. These are going to be useful for other demos later on. But essentially what I've done is I granted mail.read application write for that application. In my PowerShell script, what I'm going to do next is I'm actually going to go and authenticate using that app ID, right? The client ID here, I do have a certificate that's installed, and I'm going to connect to that tenant ID. So let me obtain that app-only token. Perfect, yeah, I already did connect it. Perfect. So now let's do the same thing. I'm going to go and I'm going to get the messages or the emails for the Nik users, so my account. It's coming back with my 10 top emails, but we were able to do that with delegated. Now, if I go in and try to get the messages for Adele, I'll be able to get her email, which are different than the ones Nik had, of course, because I'm now authenticated as a service principal using app-only permissions. Are the PowerShell modules pre-installed with Azure Shell? I believe they are now. I need to double check that. I'll have to confirm that. But last I checked, and actually that should be fairly easy for me to check. I see Vincent Birez on the call. Vincent, if you don't mind, just go in and double checking. But last I heard, the Microsoft Graph modules were available with the Azure Cloud Shell. Let's move on to another thing, right? So I did mention that any endpoints had PowerShell commandlets exposed for them. So essentially, So we can do CRUD operations. In this case here, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be connecting using delegated permissions. I'm going to be using the scope chat.readWrite, which essentially allows me to send messages. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and I'm going to be sending a new chat message to my admin user. And the message is just going to be something like demoing PowerShell Graph SDK and today's date. Okay? So if I go in and run this here, this is again just to show you that it works for any CRUD operations. I'm going to connect with my account. And it should, if I go back here, I did have Teams open. I should see, there we go, boom, new message, 11:28. It is my local time. And you can see that I was able to actually send a message on behalf of the delegated users, which is Nik Charlebois in this case, to my admin account. Okay. Great, moving on. How do you find permissions? This here is something we had been asking for months before they actually released it, right? So the PowerShell Graph SDK was released, if I remember correctly, sometimes in 2020. This find mg graph command was released with version 1.7 just a few months back, but it allows you to go and discover the various commandlets based on URLs and also identify what permissions your apps are going to be requiring based on the commandlets you're using. Let me give you an example. So let's say you're going in and the first thing everybody should be doing when they're trying to learn Microsoft Graph is go to the Graph Explorer. You go to the Graph Explorer, and in my case, I'm trying to go and understand, all right, I want to get all the security alerts for my environment. So if I go in here, I can see that the URL for this is /security/alerts. Okay, so that's the URL for the Graph REST APIs. So what I can do now is using this find mg graph command, I can go in and say, all right, find the commands that are associated with this URI, that is the security/alerts. And if I run this, it's going to come back and it's going to tell me, all right, here are the commandlets you're looking for, the get mg security alert and the new mg security alert. If we take this a step further, I want to understand, all right, that's all good, but like what permissions do I actually need? This is another example where we're going to be trying to get information about the get mg directory setting command. Right? Get mg directory setting is a way for me to actually be able to get different policies from my Azure AD. So I'm going to go and run this, but this time I'm going to go and select the permissions from the return. So if I run this here, it's going to come back and it's going to tell me, all right, if you're trying to use the get mg directory setting, here are the permissions you need. The reason why I have two, by the way, is because this is available on so there's actually a new and a get there, right? But I'm going to be able to see that, all right, so the least permission you need is directory that access as user.all. And it's always from left to right, right? The least, like the lowest level of permission you need is directory that access users.all. And the permission that will grant you access to more than what you actually are looking for probably is the directory that read write all, but it's always from left to right. Thanks, Vincent. So, all right, so I thought it was installed by default, but I'll double check with the team. But yeah, all right, so you could do an install module and just grab it in there, and then it would be go into your local storage account, and you'd be able to use it in the Azure Cloud Shell. All right, so that's for getting the actual permissions. Now, how do you differentiate between the beta and the V1 endpoint? Let me connect again. I'm going to be using a delegated scope. I'm going to be using the directory that read write all, so which is the top permission that I need. I'm going to go and connect this, prompt me for my username again, get my token. I'm all good. Now I'm going to go in and I'm actually going to try to call into the get mg directory setting command. Like we know this exists, like we were able to get information about it. So I'm going to go and run this. Right? And it's going to come back with an error saying, yeah, that command, like we don't recognize it as the name of the commandlet. But I know it exists, right? Why is that? Well, that's because it's only available in the beta endpoint right now. The way you can tell what current profile you're running PowerShell under is by using the get mg profile. So I can see that I'm currently connected or using the V1 profile. What I need to do is I need to switch to beta. And I can do this by doing select mg profile and then pass in the name beta. So that will actually switch my profile. It will load different commandlets based on my selection. shouldn't be taking that long. Perfect. Now I can just confirm that, yeah, all right, I'm now running beta. And if I go in and do get ng directory settings, now I can actually get the information back. And I can do things like set the group's naming policy. I can go in and do the group's lifecycle management as well. This is how you flip between V1 and beta. One other example that I think is extremely interesting is being able to retrieve basic auth sign-in info, right? With the upcoming deprecation of basic auth, how can you actually create a script that will go and monitor all the sign-ins against your environment to detect those basic auth connections? So what we're doing in this case here, I'm going to be connecting using app-only. I'm going to be retrieving all the logins from the audit login signing endpoint for the past 7 days. I can go do 7 days. I can do 30 days, 90 days, 180. And I'm going to be filtering that based on date, but also whenever the client was in a browser or was in the mobile app for MFA, for example. So let me just go and run this here. And then this will return me a list of all the, actually, I need to print my variable. That would be helpful. So those are all the basic auth authentication sign-ins that happen against my environment, right? So very useful for you to be able to monitor and try to understand, all right, like what's going to be at risk when we finally get that deprecation of basic auth through. The modules are updated. So they're not automatically updated when we have new additions to the graph, right? So we do have release cycles. Those are normally every month and a half, I would say. So it's not as soon as an endpoint is available that we have the support for Microsoft Graph. All right, and then the last one is running reports. Okay, so I'm going to be defining a path, a local path on my computer. That's demo report CSV, sorry. And then what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to go and use the reporting endpoint called mg report mailbox usage detail. I'm going to run this here. I'll come back with an error because essentially we still have some gaps in the PowerShell Graph SDK when we're trying to actually stream data back to a file. The problem in this case here is that I'm trying to get the data and then populate it inside of a CSV file. So that is still not working. We are working on this with version 2.0. That's going to come shortly. In the meantime, what you can do, though, is you can go in and you can call the invoke mg graph request command. So that will allow you to use the current context. So your security token is applicable here, and you can call in directly into a URL. And in my case, I'm going to be calling it to the URL that this commandlet is calling behind the scene, which is the report/get mailbox usage detail. And I'm going to be passing in the output file. So that here will actually get me the data I want. And then what I can do is I can just read that CSV and output it to Out-GridView. For those of you that are not familiar with Out-GridView, it's a very useful little commandlet that we have where you can actually pipe any object into it, and it will generate a .NET interface that lets you go and filter, sort, and do searches against your PowerShell object. So that's all for demos. I'm quickly browsing through the chat. So are all SDK commands running with delegated permissions? Essentially, it's the same as the graph, right? If we support delegated permissions for the graph endpoint, we have it for the PowerShell command. If we support app-only, we do have it, right? So the idea is that identify what endpoint is being called by that commandlet, and then go in and you can go on the docs.microsoft.com, find information about that endpoint, and it'll tell you, right, like, you know how our articles are at the beginning of every page, we have a table that will say delegated, here are the permissions you need, app only, here are the permissions you need as well. Yes, I will be sharing my demos as well. So this file here, I'll be removing my certificate thumbprint and tenant ID from it. But yes, I'll share that with Vesa. And Vesa, it's going to be on you to figure out how you want to share it. Probably in the comments.
We push all of the presentation as part of the blog post and blog post summaries of the recording. So all good. So.
Awesome. Excellent. Thanks. That's all, folks. So I know there might be other questions in the chat, so I'll answer them directly in the chat. I appreciate you joining the session, and I'll pass it over to Alex. Thanks, folks.
Yeah, awesome job. Thank you, Nik. A really good set of components and automation. That's just brilliant stuff on the graph.